Okay, here we are back in Crystalline. So in case you're wondering what's going on, since Morgana's still going and everything, this is a bit of a bonus video of sorts. I guess you can call it a thank you for sticking around with this for so long. But anyway, the big update here is there's currently an event going on in League, which is why I'm playing that. Once the event ends, I'm actually considering just dropping League from the channel entirely because it doesn't really perform as well as the visual novels. If that does indeed come to pass, you'll be seeing a lot more visual novels here. I'll probably do double updates on the weekend, one of each game for Saturday and Sunday. But to celebrate, we're going to open a rift and go home. I look at my friends and the turmoil and my mind stirs. This isn't my home. I want to abandon my team here, but I can't just leave my friends and family back home either. What if they're looking for me? I can't let them think that I'm dead. And now that I have the chance to go back, how can I pass that up? And yet, I look down at my hands. I remember the fatigue I felt after practicing with Amelia. Her warning runs through my mind, turning my blood to ice in my veins. I might not even make it home even if I tried. Is it really worth the risk for something that's not even guaranteed and could potentially end fatally? Of course it's worth it! It's where my loved ones are waiting for me. It's where I left my life behind. Void isn't my fight. I'm an anomaly in this world, and that's a strong indicator that I'm not meant to be here. I swallow hard, gathering the courage to face my friends. My words burn my tongue as I speak them. I'm sorry, you guys, but I have to go back. Slowly the team turns to face me. Then Kara laughs.
Maybe my hearing is finally going, but I could have sworn you said you wanted to go back.
Gulping hard, I nod. They are not making this easy. You heard correctly. Her laughter ceases and she stares intently at me. The longer she holds my gaze, the closer her brows knit together.
You're serious?
I nod. She looks at the rest of the group who are all stone-faced, then nudges Leanna.
You're not going to just let him do that, are you?
For a long time, Leanna doesn't move. When she finally does speak, her voice wavers.
I don't think we should force him to stay if that's not what he wants.
Somehow, Leanna's understanding cuts like a knife. This would be easier if she just get upset.
What?
I know we've all been traveling together for a while, and it feels normal to have him here. But Terra isn't his home. He has people who are waiting for him.
Her voice grows soft.
People he cares about.
I see.
Kara falls silent, her expression hardening, mirroring the same stony faces of the others. This isn't how I want this to end. Maybe there's a way to get them to understand. Guys? Zack interrupts me.
You don't have to explain yourself. This whole mission started because you wanted to go home. Now you can. Mission complete.
I look at Amy, who has remained silent. This is a good thing, isn't it? You wanted to learn more about the rifts.
That was an interest.
And now you can. She nods but doesn't answer. The Pongo's eyes shimmer with tears. He hops up to me, nuzzling my leg. I'm sorry, buddy. I have to go home, and you're not welcome there. The Pongo shakes his head. His voice is tinged with distraught as he hops into my scarf. He buries himself beneath the fabric. My heart clenches. I'm sorry, buddy. You can't come. No lame geeks allowed. I gently scoop him out of the scarf and hand him to Amelia. He deflates in her arms. Maybe I should say backbones are required. We'll go with that one. Only vertebrates allowed. Amelia squeezes the Pongo to her chest. I take one last look at my friends. These people with the somber eyes. Those aren't the faces I want to remember. I try to remember their smiles, but the vision doesn't come to me.
Do you need me to guide your cast?
I shake my head. I can't ask her to do that. She nods and steps back. I close my eyes. I remember the library with all those rows of books. I remember the study tables and the wide windows. Magic flares down my arm. It flows through my veins, a pulsing wave of energy, and engulfs me. I cry out as there's a pain, something so fierce that I feel deep in my bones. There's a blinding flash of light. I wince and flinch back, but the light is all-encompassing. It blocks out all other senses until it begins to fade. I hear the soft rustle of pages turning. I groan and blink my eyes open, exhausted, but still in one piece. Slowly I raise my head. Shelves upon shelves of books surround me. I look down at the desk with the scratch graffiti. I made it. I actually made it back. A student sees me and freezes. Her gaze darts to my book and she screams, drops her books, and runs away. My brows furrow. What the? Another student pauses, taking me in. A slow smile spreads across his face.
Hey, dude, sweet cosplay. What anime is it from?
Cosplay? I look down at myself. I'm in the same leather clothes from Terra. Oh,
Excuse me.
A stern voice causes me to turn around. A woman with a tight bun and rimmed glasses glares at me.
I don't know what this is,
She waves her hands indicating my clothes.
but I will not tolerate any weapons at this school.
Not even in self-defense? These are dangerous times, man. Without hesitation, she reaches around me and tries to grab at the sword on my back.
I'm going to need to confiscate this.
What? Hey! I struggle out of her grasp. It's not real, just a costume.
It's for our theater class.
I recognize that voice. Glancing over, I see my friend Alex approaching. He flashes the librarian a winning smile. She crosses her arms and huffs.
Well, next time you should change first.
I will. She turns around and walks away, her heels clicking on the floor. Seeing one of my friends fills me with warmth. Alex looks me up and down.
Dude, is that a real sword? What are you wearing? And where have you been? I've been calling you for ages.
The last few months replays in my head, but it seems like only a few hours have passed here on Earth. I grin. You wouldn't believe me if I told you. Ending A achieved. Hot damn! So you decided to go home, eh? You returned to your normal life with all your friends and family. Not a bad outcome. Though if you're curious what happened to Terra, you may reconsider not returning home so soon. Thank you for playing Crystalline. Credits placeholder. Okay, I have to call this out. Like, this isn't a bad thing, it's just, for a lot of developers, they're actually so narcissistic, this is one of the first things they'll do, and these guys are actually saving it to last. Wow. I gotta give them props for that. Wow, that's a bit of a long placeholder. But anyway, there we are. Mission complete. Didn't even see the last one. So I guess this makes a good enough bonus video for those of you that stuck around. I mean, you got to see ending A of the game, and yeah, something to look forward to next time, right? Or we can just get the show on the road. So let's see. I was seriously back in March when I last played that? Wow. I can't go home now. There's too much to be done here, and I care too much about these people to turn away from them in their time of need. I'll look into going home after we defeat Void. I grin. Let's go kick some Void butt. The others stop their playing and turn to me. Leanna matches my grin.
That's right. Let's get going.
Indeed. It would be beneficial for us to depart this place.
After all, I'm never one to turn down a beatdown. In case you doubt me, just check out some of these League videos this weekend. We all agree, and we travel through the mountains until we find a soft, grassy place to make camp. It's dusk by the time we've gathered all the ingredients for dinner. Leanna helps me prepare our meals, the others are gathered around the map. She stokes the fire with her wind magic. The flames burst higher, crackling and heating up our stew. I can overhear the others playing around the map.
Meja is the closest city to the Shadow Temple, but it's in the opposite direction. We'll have to head back through Coast of Coral to get there.
So Shadow Temple should be capitalized. I sigh. That's going to be a lot of walking.
Hey guys, dinner is ready.
Oh, nice! I'm starving.
Everyone gathers around the fire for dinner. Leanna's cooking is still pretty bland, but no one complains after the long day we've had. It's weird without Giggling here. Gingalain? I don't remember how to pronounce his name. I find myself missing his stories. Those must be feeling the same way. No one is as talkative as usual. After dinner, I'm feeling full and satisfied. Makes me even sleepier than before. Tell the others I'm going to turn in early for the night, and they nod. I crawl into my bedroll. Everyone else stays up, making plans for tomorrow. Gradually, my breathing steadies, and I fall asleep to their low voices. After a well-rested night, we wake up bright and early for another full day of travel. My legs ache by the time we make it out of the mountains, and they're aching even more traveling towards Costa Coral. Costa Coral. I don't even remember. They said it just a second ago. Repeat that for me, please.
Meja is the closest city to the Shadow Temple, but it's in the opposite direction. We'll have to head back through Coast of Coral to get there.
Costa Coral. There we go. It's hard to walk through the sand with our boots and supplies, but we make good time and eventually return to the beach city. The sun lowers over the ocean in the distance, smearing the sky in pinks and purples. Golden light sparkles across the waves. Wish we had time for another visit to the beach. Nobody pays us any attention as we return to the inn. We plop down at one of the tables, exhausted. My stomach grumbles. I'm starving.
I'm pretty hungry myself. I'll go get us some food.
Please let me assist you.
As they stand to their feet, a voice stops them.
Excuse me, miss.
We pause and turn around. A young man stands from one of the nearby tables and rushes over to us. As he gets closer, I can see he's wearing a blue uniform with a mailbag strapped across his chest. He squints at Leanna, then lets out a sigh of relief.
Oh, thank goodness. I found you.
Leanna's brows knit with concern.
Can I help you?
He nods, face flushed from excitement.
I've been trying to catch up to you for days.
Leanna blinks.
Days?
He nods.
I missed you in Illumia. Someone said they saw your group head towards Costa Coral, so I made my way here. And after searching all day, all over town, I couldn't find you.
He groans, his hands flying up in his hair.
The next day, someone pointed in the direction they thought they saw you guys heading. So I kept traveling and asking for directions. I followed them as best I could, but I got lost.
He sucks in a deep breath. His voice becomes higher, faster, and more distressed with every word.
There was absolutely nothing there but mountains, so I came back to Costa Coral. I decided that tomorrow morning I'd just go back to Illumia and see if you showed up. But then I saw you guys, and...
He exhales loudly, then rustles inside his bag.
Here.
He extends a scroll out to Leanna. It's sealed shut with a royal blue wax. There's a sigil of a sunrise on it. Leanna freezes. His voice is hopeful and strained.
You are Leanna Dawn, correct?
Her face goes pale.
Yes?
I frown. What is it about the scroll that's got her looking so cautious? The courier lets out a breath of relief.
Right. I'll be on my way then.
He gives us a low bow and leaves. Leanna's hands shake as she breaks the seal and unravels the scroll. After she's finished reading, she looks solemn. What is it?
It's a letter from my parents.
Your parents? Leanna nods as she scans the page again. She looks up at us with worried eyes.
It sounds urgent. I have to go back home.
What's going on?
Leanna shakes her head.
I don't know. I've never gotten a letter to go back home before. So it must be serious.
Kara nods firmly.
We'll go with you.
Leanna hesitates.
But what about Void?
They'll still be... Actually, wait. We wanted to be a jerk, that's right. Can we really afford to take a break? I hesitate, worried. Gingalain made it sound like we had to hurry to get to the Shadow Temple before Void disappears or something worse. Maybe now's not a good time to get distracted. Kara scowls.
I'm pretty sure what you meant to say was Void can wait. Just like how the temple search could wait for me.
Nope, not ringing any bells. She does have a point. My face burns as I shut up. Zack nods.
We go where you go.
Where exactly would we be going?
Hearthdawn.
Amelia looks thoughtful.
That is where the celestial mountain ranges are located.
Her eyes light up.
Perhaps we could acquire the extract of spirit flower while we are there.
Oh, that's pretty rare. It'd be a good find.
As the group chants excitedly amongst themselves, Leanna remains quiet. I nudge her. You okay? She nods and smiles at me, but her smile doesn't reach her eyes. My stomach twists with worry. I've never seen Leanna act like this. Whatever is happening, I'm sure everything will be okay. The Pongo nods in agreement.
Poi poi.
He wobbles over to her and nuzzles against her boot. Her face cracks with a small smile. She bends down and picks him up, hugging the Pongo tight to her chest.
You're right. Thank you. Poi poi.
The Pongo's voice is soft and concerned. Looks more like Leanna is hugging him for comfort instead of her usual fits of excitement over his cuteness.
In any case, it's getting late.
Kara stifles a yawn.
Agreed. Oh, I'm getting a bit sleepy.
We slowly get up from our table. Kara secures a couple of rooms for us and passes us the keys. The team makes their way to the rooms except for Leanna, who remains seated. Leanna, don't stay up too late, okay? She nods absentmindedly, still staring at her letter. I follow Zack up the stairs and into our room. We silently get ready for bed and I slip beneath the sheets. The Pongo is nowhere to be found. He must be keeping Leanna company. The thought comforts me and I drift to sleep. I naturally wake up early the next day. Guess I'm finally starting to get used to these early days and early nights. Zack is already awake. He nods a morning greeting. After getting ready, we head downstairs where the girls wait for us. We grab a quick breakfast, then head out into the city. I take one last look at the ocean. Goodbye, gentle ocean breeze. Leanna leads the way towards her hometown. Can't help but wonder what her family is like. Are they anything like Leanna? Around midday, we take a break from traveling. At least everyone else gets to have a break. Leanna pulls me aside for a training session. No rest for the wicked. She leads me out into the field and we begin our normal regimen. Our blades clash against each other, the wind augmenting our speed and abilities. Fighting with her feels like a blur, a dance. It's easier to keep up with her, but Leanna still proves to be a challenging opponent.
Wow, you guys are fast.
I turn to see Karen the other sitting on the sidelines watching.
Hey!
I whirl back around, Leanna swings. I yelp, barely blocking the blow in time. Leanna grins.
Eyes on the battle.
Right. Still, the sight of Amelia sitting with the others sparks an idea in my head. Amy and I have been practicing fire magic. Leanna doesn't know that, and I can use that to my advantage. Leanna begins to swing her blade again. Like usual, I draw upon the magic within me, feeling it gather in my palm. As she moves to strike, I let loose a fireball and send it flying straight towards her. Her reflexes kick in and she cuts the ball in half, blowing the fire out. The flame harmlessly licks the air as it snuffs out of existence. She freezes, shocked.
Fire magic? How is that possible?
Zack, Kara, and the Pongo are equally surprised.
Am I still sleeping, or did he just cast something that wasn't wind magic?
That's crazy. When did you learn to do that?
After I read it in the script. My grin broadens. It's all thanks to Amy. Amelia nods.
That is correct. We have been meeting late in the night to practice on each other.
The team whirls to face me with disapproving glares.
What's wrong with you?
She's just a kid.
What? I break out into a cold sweat. You guys have it all wrong. Our sessions were magical. Leanna gapes at me.
I can't believe you.
What? No, that's not what I meant. I meant training sessions. Magic training sessions. Zack raises an eyebrow.
You have an odd way of wording things, Amy.
Amelia doesn't seem to hear Zack's comment. Instead, she taps her chin in thought.
I am quite pleased to see you cast another element so naturally. It seems our training together has been of use after all.
Yeah, it's getting easier every time I cast.
The fact that you have mastered another element so quickly is very impressive. Truly, your growth has been established at an accelerated rate.
Let's not make a big deal out of this. I shrug off her compliment. You thought that was cool, though, and just wait till you see me cast all of the elements. Once Amy and I figure out the connection between emotions and casting, I've been secretly practicing summoning other elements. By channeling what I felt when the elemental transferred me her power, I've been able to cast both water and earth magic, too. Leanna blinks in surprise.
What? Really?
I see. I suppose it would be natural for you to discover the casting methods for the remaining elements, too.
Zack smirks.
Sounds like a demonstration's in order.
Right now? He nods.
Unless you can't actually summon all the elements.
Egad, he called my bluff. I scoff and take a step back, readying myself. Almost instinctively, I first channel wind magic. Been doing it for so long now, it feels like second nature. Next, I materialize a ball of fire next to the ball of wind. The fire eagerly laps at the wind. Focusing my concentration, I remember the tranquility of the Earth Temple and create a shield of earth. Cool liquid forms on my fingertips as I summon water. With all the elements in hand, I mold them into their own balls of energy and let them loose into the sky. I wonder what happens if I combine them. I summon a fireball and add wind magic to it. The fire eagerly eats at the added oxygen, swelling twice its size in an instant. Whoa! I drop concentration as I try not to burn myself. Maybe I should try something else. I bring up an earthen shield and ice it over with water magic. Summoning wind magic, I funnel the energy into a small whirlwind and slowly add fire to it. Then I launch it at the frozen shield. The ice fizzles beneath the fire's heat, and the shield blasts to bits. My friends duck to avoid the shrapnel. Sorry! My breathing starts to become labored, and sweat beads on my temple. Wonder what would happen if I try to combine all the elements at once. I try to mush all the elements into one ball of energy, but my knees give out. Magic winks out as I slide to the grass. My chest struggles for breath, and I gulp it in the air in short gasps. My muscles burn as if I just finished a weight training session instead of a magic training session. Leanna rushes over to me, her brows furrowed in concern.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Kara looks nervous.
Maybe you don't try that again for a while.
Amelia tilts her head.
A curious reaction, but one which is unsurprising.
I remember the warning she gave me about using up a high amount of energy at once. I used up too much energy again, didn't I? She nods. If this keeps up, I'm never going to be able to open a rift to go back home. How do we move past this?
Casting magic is just like building any other muscle or skill. The more you practice, the stronger your ability to cast multiple elements will become.
Guess I'm gonna need a lot more training, huh?
Indeed.
Our eyes lock. A light sparks behind Amy's eyes, and I feel a smile slowly rise on my lips. I feel like there's a deep understanding between us that wasn't there before. Leanna's face is still creased with worry.
Right. Just stay here for a while, okay? You need your rest. We can take care of cleaning up the camp.
Zach and Kara nod.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it.
Boy,
The Pongo bounces into my arms. He snuggles up to me, trying to comfort me.
boy.
I sigh and close my eyes, leaning against a tree. The Pongo jiggles between my neck and shoulder. Too tired to bat him away. The others leave me to rest, and I hear a small sound. What was that? Something shifts from the corner of my eye. I blink and lift my head. A pink Pongo hops out from the edge of the forest. She pauses, looking around. Another Pongo. Wonder if she's lost. My Pongo perks up in my lap.
Boy,
The pink Pongo blinks. She tilts her head.
boy.
My Pongo's cheeks turn dust pink against his blue. So where'd you get the bow? His eyes shimmer with wonder. Is this love at first sight? My Pongo blinks and shakes his head, snapping out of his trance. He bounds up to her. She smiles shyly.
Boy.
My blue Pongo shivers happily. He splits into a wide grin.
Boy.
Which quickly transforms into a lewd grin.
Boy.
Oh no. The pink Pongo scrunches up her little face in disgust.
Boy.
In a flash, she scampers away.
Boy.
Sorry, dude, she's into vertebrates. Although my Pongo tries to stop her, he's too late, and she disappears from view. Now, if you want this one, here you go. He waits, and then slumps. He shrinks about 2 inches, absolutely crestfallen. He'll get over it. Whatever, rejection's part of life, and he'll certainly be rejected plenty more in his lifetime. Pongo has to learn the hard way.
You came on too strong.
Zach's voice startles me. I look around. The group has already finished cleaning up the camp and is standing beside me. Kara shakes her head disappointedly.
Doesn't matter the species, there's always one thing on their mind.
Is it money? Amelia pats the Pongo on the head.
Do not fret. One day, you will find a mate with exceptional eyes and exquisite roundness.
Leanna smiles encouragingly. That's right. Speaking of Pongos and relationships, how do Pongos mate anyway? Kara gives me a pointed look.
See? One-track mind.
Leanna gives me a disapproving look. Zach just shakes his head.
I think now's about as good a time as any to head out.
Agreed.
Still feeling the lingering effects of my cast, we make slow time, but continue our journey towards Hearthdawn. After about 4 more days of travel, we soon see the buildings casting tall shadows over the gates of Hearthdawn. The wrought iron gates have intricately curled cast iron tips. I can already tell that this place is more extravagant than any other town we pass through. The guards look us over as we approach, but when they see Leanna, they nod deeply.
Welcome back, my lady.
Yes. Thank you.
Leanna blushes deeply as she stammers out a reply. The guards bow slightly as Leanna hurries us through. Someone's pretty popular. Oh, you're quite the popular one around here. Leanna laughs awkwardly.
Oh, I'm sure they say that to all the girls.
Are you sure you're not secretly famous or something? Her face pales.
What? That's crazy.
That's a bit of an overreaction. I know, I was just joking.
Oh, right.
Leanna exhales, but she doesn't seem any more relaxed. Leanna hurries ahead and leads us through finely cobbled streets. The shop fronts are all neatly primmed with respectable potted plants and other small decorations. Signs will have various elegantly looping letters. I feel like I've just stepped into a Jane Austen novel. Amelia follows close behind, clutching the pongo to her chest. She surveys her surroundings with silent interest. Kara flashes Zack a playful smile.
My lord.
No.
Oh, come on. Won't you at least offer me your arm?
Why? You always just take it anyway.
She pouts.
You don't have a romantic bone in your body.
She tugs on Zack's arm anyway. He doesn't resist, and soon the two of them catch up. The further we travel through town, more people seem to recognize Leanna and give her the same polite greeting. She nervously responds, trying to downplay the attention. Okay, now it's starting to get weird. I exchange confused glances with my team. Finally, we reach a deserted area of town. A smile returns to her face as she recognizes the shops and streets which we travel. Although she doesn't talk about her home much, I can tell she's happy to be back. Our boots crunch under the white gravel as we turn into a long tree-lined drive. Lush green lawns and colorful gardens sweep the road to the estate. So, this first statement doesn't really make a lot of sense. Does the gravel crunch under the boots, or does it go... The boots crunch over the gravel? The estate is dazzling white, maybe 4 or 5 stories tall. A large fountain sits before it, the water spraying and glittering in the sunlight. Beyond the mansion, framing the scene, are mountains and the brilliant blue sky. Kara's eyes go wide.
Whoa.
Zack whistles appreciatively.
Damn.
Amelia pauses, taking in the mansion.
The architecture for this building is quite exquisite. Would this be the town hall or Mariel house, perhaps?
Nope, it's the local brothel. Leanna twists her skirt nervously.
Not quite.
What is it? As if on cue, a small woman with simple clothes and plaited hair passes by. She nearly drops the bag she's carrying when she sees Leanna and dips into a low curtsy.
Milady, you've returned home.
Home?
You grew up in style, huh?
Leanna's cheeks flame.
It's nothing.
I don't quite get this last one. It's no big deal. I don't know, I want to see what happens. Is Mr. Darcy home? Should we be expecting a Mr. Darcy? Leanna blinks.
Who?
Never mind. Yep, that one went over my head too. Leanna sucks in a breath. Seems like all of our excitement has got her flustered.
Let's just get going.
We follow her up the gravel road. As we get closer to the fountain, I notice the same sigil on Leanna's letters engraved into the stone. The waterworks run from a sapphire swan. The Pongo's eyes go wide.
Boy.
He squirms out of my scarf and leaps for the fountain before landing in a big splash. I think he just cannonballed right in there. The Pongo burbles happily in the water as he continues to splash around, pretending to be a fish.
Aww.
Leanna rushes over to the fountain and gives the Pongo a little tickle. He giggles happy bubbles.
I wish I could save this moment forever.
Shall I go and fetch the portrait master?
No. That won't be necessary.
Their own portrait master too? Just how rich are these people?
As you wish, my lady. I shall go and alert your father of your return.
She curtsies again and hurries towards the mansion.
So that just happened.
Kara giggles.
I think you left out a few important details, which would have been nice to know.
Indeed. If we had prior notice of your noble heritage, Perhaps we could have made more appropriate preparations on our presentation.
Trust me, this is as presentable as I get. Presentation?
Yes, such as our choice of dress.
I reiterate, this is as presentable as I get. She looks pointedly at Kara.
I dress very appropriately for my profession.
We just stare at her. She crosses her arms.
Well, it's a little too late for that now.
Don't worry about it. We'll just go in and I'll say hi to my parents, and I'm sure we'll be out in no time. Come on.
Leanna leads us to the front door. She reaches up to a golden door knocker and pounds twice. The double doors fly open. An older man greets us with a warm smile.
Lady Leanna?
Not even gonna touch that one. Leanna's face lights up.
Sprojins! It's good to see you're still doing well.
The butler, or Scrogens as it were, bows at the waist.
Lady Leanna, how good to see you. Your father...
He trails off, eyeing her clothing.
My lady, what are you wearing?
Huh?
She glances down at her white armor. Horror flashes across her face and she squeaks.
Oh, this old thing?
Leanna clears her throat and stands up tall.
Scrojins. Where is my father?
Her tone is firm but not unkind. It gently suggests that this question is not out of line. I guess Leanna's family doesn't know she's a mage knight. Wonder why she's kept that a secret. He clears his throat.
As I was saying, my lady, your father is in an important meeting.
Leanna frowns.
I see. And my brother?
Your brother will not arrive until this evening,
He looks apologetic.
and the rooms are not yet prepared.
Leanna blinks.
Oh,
My most profound apologies. You and your...
We prefer the term posse. He pauses. His gaze travels from Zach's weathered trench coat to Amelia's school uniform and Kara's skimpy outfit. He sees the sword strapped to my back and arches an eyebrow.
guests are more than welcome to wait here, if you so please.
no, thank you.
Her answer is unusually firm. Even Scrogens looks surprised.
Of course, as your lady pleases.
Leanna looks a little uncomfortable.
How do you guys feel if I show you around town instead?
I'd be down for that. Kara grins.
That's a good idea. I'd be interested to explore where Lady Leanna grew up.
Leanna stiffens.
It's just Leanna.
Kara giggles, but I think it's Trojans looks on disapprovingly.
Lady Leanna, we would be happy to provide someone to show your friends the town. However, we do request your presence here at the house.
I think we prefer the term homies.
Oh? How come?
It was requested by your mother that should you return, she'd like your opinion on the preparations for this evening.
Leanna sighs but nods.
Of course.
Thank you, my lady.
He bows and disappears into the mansion. Leanna sighs again and turns to face us.
Sorry about that.
The burden of being a princess, hmm?
Leanna shoots her a look, but Kara merely smirks.
Are you going to be okay on your own?
It will be no different from when we explore any other unfamiliar town.
Just one less body in the bar fight. Zach and I nod. With a short goodbye, Leanna twirls around and enters the mansion, shutting the crystal doors behind her. We head back towards town. So what's the plan now?
I think I'm going to go to the marketplace. What about you, Zach?
Zach shrugs.
Oh, probably go to the...
Kara interrupts him.
In. I don't know why I asked. What about you, Amy?
She looks thoughtful.
Perhaps I will search for a library.
Sounds about right.
We make our way down the gravel path until we arrive back into town. We all split off and head in different ways. What do I feel like doing? I'm good for now. Sorry guys, you have to wait till the actual game is finished before you get to see the other scenes. I think I'll finally spend some me time. Wander around town, checking out the shops and the sights. It's not too different from most of the places we visited so far, although I do notice how clean and well kept the place is. Once the sun begins to dip into the sky, I head back towards the mansion. The sky is streaked with rosy pinks and soft golds. A few silver stars wink in the mist. I meet up with my friends in front of Leanna's estate. We start our way up the gravel path again. The Pongo sits on my shoulder as Kara walks next to Zach.
I wonder what Leanna's family is like.
Zach shrugs.
I am most curious to meet them as well.
Speculating is pointless. We're the type of group that just flies by the seat of our pants. We'll find out in a minute when we get there. Kara pouts.
You're no fun.
I shrug. We make our way up the massive stone staircase leading to the front door. Scrogens answers... Scrogen? No, I think it's Trojans. Trojans answers the door again.
Welcome back. Please do come in.
We carefully file through the doorway and into the front hall. My breath catches as I look around. A massive chandelier made of sparkling crystals hangs from the center of a high ceiling. The marble floors shine at my feet, so polished they look wet. Long halls stretch ahead to countless doors. A bouquet of flowers sits atop of a hall table, and a magnificent staircase sweeps in the center of the room. Amy cranes her neck, her eyes wide as she looks around. Zach looks appreciatively at the decorative swords on the wall.
Whoa.
The Pongo's eyes glitter up at the crystal chandelier. His mouth seems to water just looking at it.
Oi, boy.
I give him a gentle poke, snapping him out of it.
Oi.
I shake my head. He deflates, pounding against my shoulder. Leanna arrives and gives us a worried smile.
How was your time in town?
Great! There were so many cute things at the shops.
I'm glad.
She twists her hands nervously and falls quiet again. How have things been going here?
Oh, fine.
I wait for her to continue. She looks blankly at me, then seems to remember.
Oh, dinner will be ready in a few minutes, if you all want to wash up first.
We exchange glances.
Are you sure you're okay? Did you get a chance to see your parents?
Well, no. I mean, I'm fine. But I haven't seen my parents yet. But that's okay, because Leo hasn't arrived yet. And I guess my father has some big news that he insists on sharing with both of us. Well, actually, if we're about to eat dinner, then I think that means Leo probably has arrived?
The words pour out of her mouth as if she can't control them. She finally pauses to catch her breath. I've never seen her this nervous before. Don't worry, I'm sure everything will be okay. She nods and takes a deep breath to calm herself, then gives me an appreciative smile.
You're right. I'm sure you're right.
That makes one of us. She leads us towards our rooms to wash up. We each have separate rooms, a testament to just how large this mansion is. My room has eggshell blue walls, trimmed with silver. Curtains flutter in the soft breeze of open crystal doors leading to a balcony. I notice the bed filled with plush-looking blankets and pillows. I cannot wait to dive into that. Instead, I quickly wash up using the wide basin shaped like a seashell, then meet the others downstairs. So I assume it's frowned upon if we steal the towels here. Leanna waits for us again. I look her up and down and blink in surprise. Why are you still wearing your armor? She blinks.
What else would I be wearing?
I thought your family didn't know about you being a mage knight.
They don't, but
She hesitates.
I don't want to keep it a secret from them anymore.
This can't wait till next month? Is that why you're so nervous?
It's a big reason I am. I'm not sure how they'll react.
Kara puts a comforting hand on Leanna's arm.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Your family loves you.
It's gonna be a big fight, isn't it? Leanna nods. She smiles to reassure us, but worry still creases her brow. Trojans arrives. He looks surprised at Leanna. I think he expected her to change her clothes as well, but he doesn't say anything. Instead, he leads us to the dining hall. A heavenly scent hits me in the face as soon as I enter. A long table fills the room full of delicious-looking food. Steam wafts from lamb chops, chicken, bread, lobster, vegetables. My stomach rumbles. This looks like it's going to be the best meal I've ever had. A young man clad in sparkling white armor stands in front of a huge crystal window. He looks to be a few years older than Leanna. His back is straight and he holds his head high, exuding an air of regality and authority. He seems to be absorbed in thought and doesn't notice our arrival. Leanna beams.
Leo!
Her brother looks up from the window. When he notices Leanna, a wave of surprise flickers across his face.
Leah? This is a surprise. Did Father call upon you too?
Leanna nods. She walks over to him and hesitates. He pauses, then opens his arms wide. They embrace each other tightly, but only for a brief moment before separating. Leon adjusts his armor, and his brows wrinkle as he looks over Leanna. Leanna knows his expression and wearily smooths down her armor.
Some things have changed since we last saw each other.
Yeah, she found a pongo.
I see that.
His voice is flat and hard to read. I wasn't too happy about the pongo either. Leanna squirms under his gaze.
This does explain why you were always out of town whenever I would be in Illumia. And here I was thinking you were just trying to skip out on work.
His face remains expressionless, but Leanna relaxes and a genuine smile graces her lips.
Sorry about that. Duty calls, as you know.
I do indeed.
Judging by Leanna's body language, Leon must be accepting of her decision to be a mage knight. He doesn't seem too surprised by this fact either. I knew she didn't have to be worried. Leon's face softens.
Do Mother and Father know?
Leanna shakes her head, the worry returning to her face. Leon looks grim. He finally seems to notice us.
Oh, you brought company.
We'd prefer posse.
Yes!
Leanna introduces each of us. He greets us warmly.
I hope you've all been keeping her out of trouble. I know how much of a handful she can be.
Trouble follows her everywhere, man. We've been trying, but she just attracts trouble wherever we go.
Hey, that's not true.
Oh yeah? Name a place we've been to where there has been some sort of crisis. She ponders.
Ellendale.
Okay, fine, that's one place.
Hearth Point?
Yet.
We definitely had a crisis there with your... Hey there, sailor.
Never mind.
Leanna's face turns red as she shushes Kara. Leon raises an eyebrow. As if on cue, the big doors creak open.
The Lord and Lady Dawn.
A beautiful older woman stands there, her arms linked with who I'm assuming is her husband. Loose golden curls fall at her shoulders, her smile delicate and soft. She's wearing an elegant cornflower blue gown and sparkling jewels. Leanna's father has a strong jaw and Leanna's blue eyes. His hair is also blonde, but the temples are peppered with silver. Leon marches over to his parents and offers them a short bow.
Mother? Father?
Leon.
His name is Levant. His father nods as Leon straightens, his eyes sparkling with pride. He clasps his son on the shoulder.
You look fine as always. Still doing that armor justice.
Thank you, Father.
His mother smiles warmly and envelops him in a hug.
Oh, Leon, it's been too long. You don't come home enough.
I'm sorry, Mother. I wish I could, but...
I know. I'm just being fussy. It's good to see you home again.
That's not what she said.
Thank you.
Throughout the interaction, Leanna hangs back. Her father's gaze lands on her and his eyes harden.
Leanna, what in the blazes are you wearing?
The room falls silent as everyone's attention fixes on her.
Leanna?
Leanna holds her head high.
Hello, Mother. Father.
She dips in a small curtsy.
Is this another one of your little fantasies?
His tone is less stern and more one of confusion. Leanna's mother glanced at her husband with concern before looking back at Leanna.
Perhaps you should wear something a bit more appropriate for dinner, dear.
If you think that's bad, look at Kara.
No, Mother. This is the armor I chose to wear as a mage knight.
Leanna's voice rings clearly, but I can see her hands trembling. Again, there is a pause. I hold my breath. The tension makes the air feel thick. Finally, Lord Dawn huffs.
Well, no matter. That is something which will be addressed later. For now, your mother and I have some news. Please, let's all be seated.
He and his wife sit at the head of the table, with Leanna and Leon on either side of them. The rest of us silently fill in the empty seats.
Leanna, dear, you haven't introduced us to your guests.
Of course. Mother, Father, these are my companions. They are accompanying me on one of the assignments the Mage Guild has instructed me to investigate, as a mage knight.
Her mother and father ignore the last bit of her sentence.
We welcome you into our home.
Thank you. It is an honor.
Your hospitality is much appreciated.
Thanks.
Thank you. And just a bit of fair warning, I'm gonna eat all of your hors d'oeuvres. Lord Dawn gives us a curious look.
And are you all colleagues from the Mage Guild?
No, Amy is a student mage caster from the Mage Academy.
Both of Leanna's parents look impressed.
A mage caster at such a young age. You must be very extraordinary.
Indeed. Your parents must be quite proud. That is not an easy achievement to reach, no matter the age.
Thank you for your kind words.
Leanna introduces Zack and Kara next, but hesitates when she gets to me. I'm a hero, and can I get more hors d'oeuvres? Aw, man. I'm studying wind magic. I've been learning how to cast wind magic from Leanna. Leanna's father nods approvingly.
Of course. Leanna is an excellent mage, as are all Dawn.
Aw, man. Leanna's jaw twitches at her father's slight, but she doesn't say anything. Once introductions are over, we begin to eat. We sit in silence for a while. The only sound is the clinking of silverware. Leanna takes a bite of her stew. She smiles and sighs, practically melting in her chair.
Nothing can compare to the food from home.
Her mother looks delighted.
Do you like it, dear?
Yes, of course. It tastes just the way I remember.
I'm happy to hear that.
Your mother insisted on cooking it herself, even though I told her that's what we hire the chefs to do.
Leanna blinks.
You didn't have to do that.
I know, dear, but I remembered how much you enjoyed it when you were little.
Thank you.
Leanna's smile broadens as she takes another bite. Leanna takes a bite of the roast.
And was this your doing too, Mother?
She smiles and puts a hand over her husband's.
Actually, it was your father.
The real one, not the guy sitting next to me. Both Leanna and Leon look at their father with surprise. Color stains Lord Dawn's cheeks.
It's not often we have the family together again, and with such good news, too.
Leanna and her brother exchange glances. Relief seems to pour into Leanna's face. At least it's good news.
What news, Father?
His parents glance at each other, then Lady Dawn clasps her hands together, flushing with enthusiasm.
Leanna, we have found you an excellent partner. You are to be engaged as soon as possible.
Congratulations! The entire dining room freezes.
What?
Her father beams.
Come now, Leanna, don't act so surprised. We've been waiting for this day for a long time now. And we're pleased to announce your engagement to the House of Pennington.
Holy crap, this one hits home. There was someone I fought for 4 years that actually had that last name. Wow. Okay, game, you've made this personal. Leanna's face is wide with shock. My heart skips a beat. Did I just hear that right? I look over at my friends, and they all wear the same shocked look. I grab my goblet and down it in one gulp. Even though Leanna's the one who's getting engaged, I still feel like I need a drink to process this information.
Duke Pennington? He has to be at least 60 years old.
Her mother laughs.
Oh, my dear, of course not the Duke. That would be incredibly inappropriate. You're to be married to his son, Edward.
The dumbass.
You remember him, right? He was a bit of a skinny child, but he's grown into a very handsome man.
Still not all there upstairs, though. Leanna seems as if she's in a daze.
Engaged?
Yes, dear. He's been away for a long time, but he's finally returned home. He's a very talented water mage. That's why he was called abroad, actually. They needed his talents.
And we need an excuse to get rid of him. Leon nods along to what his mother says.
I think I remember Edward. He's a nice man, if I recall. Has a soft spot for children.
Great, he's a pedophile too.
Yes, exactly. Of course. We wouldn't set you up with anyone less than the best.
While Lady Dawn chats excited, Lord Dawn watches Leanna with hawk eyes.
Leanna.
She snaps back to attention.
Huh? I mean, yes, Father?
You don't seem to be very excited. You hear what we're saying?
Yes, Father. I hear you.
Her voice is eerily calm.
However, I don't accept the engagement.
Her parents stare at her, stunned. Leon looks back and forth from Leanna to his parents. His eyes seem to implore Leanna.
What do you mean you don't accept it? My dear, it's a very real thing that's happening.
I don't accept it. I'm not ready to be married yet.
Then you better find a way to get ready, because you will be married.
Anger creeps into his voice and Leanna flinches.
I just need some more time. You sprang this upon me with no warning. How did you expect me to react?
I expected you to act reasonably and accept your responsibility as a member of the Dawn family.
And take one for the team.
I understand my responsibility, Father. And I'm not saying I refuse to ever be married, but I need more time.
What could you possibly need more time for?
To live my life!
The anger behind Leanna's words briefly silences her father. His face turns red as his anger boils. Leon takes this moment to try to intervene.
Father, perhaps the engagement can be postponed.
He shoots his son a cutting look.
Unless there is a reasonable explanation as to why this engagement should be postponed, I expect her to fulfill her duties as a Lady of House Dawn.
He slams his fist on the table, rattling the silverware.
There's more to me than just being Lady of House Dawn. I'm a mage knight. Something you said a woman could never be.
I will hear no more of this. A lady cannot be a mage knight.
Leanna's mother tries to calm her husband down.
Darling, please. I'm sure she'll come around to the idea. After all, we raised her to be proper and to keep the family proud.
Yeah, these past few months I may have ruined that for you guys. Sorry.
I won't, Mother. Not if it means I can no longer be a mage knight.
Lady Dawn looks at her daughter with a mixture of exhaustion and hurt.
Leanna, dear, please be reasonable. We can't always follow the whims of our fantasies. We have certain responsibilities which must be met.
But the rest can all be dodged.
Exactly. Why can't you be more like Leon? He understands his place in this family.
If I were in her place, I would refuse too.
His parents recoil at his words, as if he'd cut them with a knife. Leanna blinks in surprise and smiles softly, appreciative of his support.
Leon, what are you saying?
Father, I am putting into practice what you've always taught me. Family comes first.
Then why have you chosen to go against the family?
I haven't. I support the marriage prospect you've chosen for Leanna, but it is clear she does not want this. If being a mage knight makes her happy, then why can't we support her? She's already graduated from the program and earned her title and admission into the Mage Guild. These are no small accomplishments.
Lord Dawn's chair screeches as he pushes himself away from the table.
I have never been more disappointed in my children.
Then you're lucky you're not my dad. He turns and leaves with a flourish out of his cloak.
Darling, wait!
Lady Dawn shoots one last look of frustration towards her children, then rushes after her husband. Leon stands up and brushes himself off. He gives Leanna a sympathetic look, then walks after his parents, leaving us in silence. Well, I guess I'll take their hors d'oeuvres too. Leanna crumbles in her seat, holding her head in her hands. Awkward. Well, that was probably the most uncomfortable dinner I've had to sit through.
I've had worse.
Really? How?
I'd really rather not relive it.
Fair.
The conversation was quite limited, and too specific for most parties to participate.
Really? That's what you focus on, not the fact that a family has possibly just broken up? Amy blinks at me.
The worst part about it was the fact that nobody was eating.
Exactly. He gets me. We stare at Zach.
What? This food looks amazing, but I didn't want to be rude. I mean, are you supposed to eat when there's a massive argument going on around you?
I don't have any problem with that. Leanna groans. Shoot, I should be making her feel better, but I'm sure this conversation is making her feel worse. She shakes her head.
I'm so sorry you guys had to sit through that. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this.
You don't have to apologize. She pushes herself to her feet.
We should leave. We need to stop Void. And clearly there's nothing else to discuss here.
Kara's brows furrow.
Maybe we should stay the night.
Why? You saw what my parents are like.
I know.
Kara's voice is soft and careful.
I know. But I really think we should stay. Give them time to think about it. Especially your dad. Who knows? Maybe things will smooth over in the morning.
Leanna scoffs.
I doubt it. He's so stubborn.
I'm not trying to tell you what to do. After all, you know your family best. I just know that if my dad were still here, I wouldn't want things to end like that. I wouldn't be able to forgive myself if that was the last interaction I had with him.
Leanna stands with her arms crossed, thinking about Kara's words. Her muscles are taut, eyes still bright with tears. Finally, she nods. Her muscles unwind and she slumps a little.
You're right.
Kira smiles slightly. She pats Leanna on the arm.
Just give them time. You never know.
Leanna huffs out a deep sigh.
Yeah,
She doesn't sound too convinced.
I'm sorry. But I think I'm going to turn in early. I need some time to think.
We nod. Zack rises to a stand.
I think I'm ready for bed too.
We all agree. Slowly we get to our feet and follow Leanna out of the dining room. She leads us up the stairs to the halls with our rooms. As I reach my room, Zack pauses in my doorway.
You good?
His voice startles me. Yeah, why?
It was pretty tense back there.
I nod. Yeah, I can't imagine what Leanna's feeling right now.
Same.
Zack starts to head over to his room.
Rest on it. It'll be better in the morning.
Yeah, that we can eat the breakfast hors d'oeuvres too. Thanks. I close the door behind me and try to get settled. I'm worried about Leanna. I hope she's able to stand up for what she wants tomorrow. I had no idea she lived with that kind of pressure from her parents. No wonder she never spoke to us much about her personal life. I sigh, sinking deeper into the pillows. The sheets are smooth and welcoming. I haven't slept on a mattress this nice in a long time. Probably not since the flushed mermaid. I find myself drifting off into a deep sleep.